Live at 5. We are children's authors here to talk about everything in the world of children's books, where to find them, who we are as the authors, and we're here to answer your questions. But before we went live, we were just having a conversation about lighting and video. So if that's your specialty, then help us do better. Because we're authors. We're not professionals when it comes to our environments. As you can see, that's not very professional, but you know what? We got some sparkle feathers here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are live now on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. So if you are watching us, let us know you're here. Tell us where you are. And do you have a little that likes to read? Tell us what they like to read, and we'll maybe just tell a story.
Oh, I'm back. And get your sparkle feathers.
Mark, I'm missing your pickle hat.
I know. I have it packed up for a pickle festival tomorrow. So everything's packed up and ready to go. And all I got to do is put it in the car. And I'm going to be wearing my pickle hat and have pickle swag and pickle pins and all kinds of, and Nikolai Pickle, which is another book that I wrote on pickles.
Rosemary, show the book. There we go.
Yeah, she has it. Yep.
Mark, where is it? Where can people find you if they're in your area?
They can find out more about the event on www.markmccraw.com, and in the events section, it'll tell you where it's located. It's actually in Tacoma Park, Oklahoma, and the Pickle Festival is going to be at the Cobblestone Wedding Chapel, and they're going to have all kinds of pickle events. And I've actually seen the Pickle Festival ads already on Facebook, and I've also seen the one at the event venue already. So I'm excited. I can't wait.
Well, you're going to have to take lots of pictures that we could share right here next week, because we will be back live at 5 next week. So if you see anything you like here, let us know. If you see anything here that you think we could do better or differently, let us know. And another reason we are here is to advertise and publicize our children'sauthorsunite.com. It is a place where you could go find out more about the authors, how to get our books. You could tune into our live streams. We do live streams quarterly. We did one at Christmas time. We did one for a kickoff to summer. They are 4-hour events, 2 days in a row, where we just entertain. And now I'm going to ask Rosemary. Rosemary, you're really the entertainer. So,
well, I want to just say that if you are a children's author or you're thinking about writing a children's book, please visit us on Friday, every Friday from 3:30 to 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. We meet and we discuss. Sometimes we have a speaker. Sometimes we just get tons of information. Like today, Mark gave us tons of information about illustrators, where to find illustrators, and people that will read your book online. So he is a wealth of knowledge. And we just have so many people. We have Francine, who started this group almost 2 years ago, and she's wonderful. We meet every Friday. And I think Francine maybe has only missed, and I've only missed a couple in the 2 years. I think Francine missed one because she couldn't get connection. She was visiting family. So please join us. We would love to have you with us. And Francine just started this after our meeting. We're just going to have this little get together and for a half hour and live at 5. So we're excited to meet you.
it's something new, and who knows what it will turn into. We're just going to put ourselves out there and see what happens. And Lou, you're our newest member. Would you like to tell everybody what you think of our group?
Absolutely awesome. So I have just entered this whole idea of writing a children's book. Every meeting, I come away with 3 or 4 pages of notes. I just didn't realize how many opportunities are out there to publicize your book. Today, I wanted to know about illustrators, so I simply asked, "Oh, do you mind if I ask how you all illustrate your book?" And bang, 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 bang. There were 6 or 7 different approaches, beautifully explained, links given. If you are a children's author, experienced or otherwise, I would thoroughly recommend this group. And you can probably pick, I'm an Aussie. You can probably pick I'm the Aussie, the rogue Aussie here today, but it's just such an encouraging group. I love the whole atmosphere. I felt welcome from the time I've come, and I didn't realize this was going live. I thought this was just going to be a chat. So there you go. See, when you join these groups, you get new experiences. So I am very unbiased. I'm not paid. I've just walked in the door a few weeks ago, but I would thoroughly recommend joining this group. This is resource rich and absolutely so friendly and encouraging. Thank you for letting me be part of it.
We love
And
having you.
I would love for you to tell the audience what time you wake up to come to these meetings.
Well, before I tell them that, I probably should tell them that I go to bed at 1:30 a.m. usually. So this group is 5:30 a.m. my time. And I believe in being honest, so I'm going to tell you the truth. I thought, I'm going to bed in my clothes. I literally went to bed in these clothes last night, and I thought I can shortcut this process and get 10 more minutes sleep. So I'm not proud. I'm not proud to tell you that, but I'm being honest. And
I'm going to
you know what? Seriously, why would I do that? Why would I get up after just a couple of hours sleep? It, if it wasn't worthwhile, I wouldn't keep doing it, but I don't want to miss it. I had to miss last week, and I keep thinking, what am I missing? And I think our meetings are recorded as well. Is that correct?
Sometimes they are.
Sometimes they're recorded, but also I just caught a little part of your 2-day event, and that's what inspired me to write a children's book. It was just so motivating and so wonderful seeing the joy of the authors reading their stories and talking about it. So I'm a big fan already, and for me, with the different time zone, the fact that you record those events, if anyone in the world wants to join the group, it's very possible to gain knowledge. So thank you for being you and all that you've done. It's amazing to think this is only 2 years, did you say?
Not even, yeah, not even.
No, amazing.
Yeah.
My husband is writing a men's self-help book, and I've just said to him now, again, you have to find a group like this. You're doing it on your own. He's got 1 or 2 people helping him edit, and I said, you need a group like this. You have to find the equivalent of a group like this that is everyone's self-publishers. Is that correct in this group, or not necessarily?
Jody and I do what is considered blended publishing.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect Publishing is our publisher, but we're a team more than a publisher who signed a contract. We have a contract, but it's more teamwork. They do all the technical parts, and then the promotion we do together. A traditional publisher, they're responsible for promoting also.
Okay. But I guess anyone would come here. Any kind of author, children's author would come here and benefit. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody. Mark, you've taken the traditional publishing route, haven't you?
No, actually, it's still considered self-publishing. I went through Archway Publishing, which was a subsidiary of Simon and Schuster, but it's still considered self-publishing. I have 2 publishers, Palmetto Publishing and Archway. So I have 3 books out of the 12 that are actually that have gone through a publishing company. And those were like when I first started out in 21 and 22, around that time frame.
So Mark, I won't say we're all accomplished in our own rights, but Mark has written the most books out of our group.
So for me, it's not about the number. It's as much as it's the message. And I believe my mission and being an author is literacy, learning, and legacy, number 1. And number 2, making a difference in the lives of children. Those are the 2 most important things. And I think as an author, you have to have a purpose and a passion. And if you can identify that right away, you're more willing to do to be a part of that journey, and do a journey with other people and your own journey. You're more willing to do that, if you have that purpose and passion. And I think that's what's important. It's for me. It's not about the monetary. It's about that. When a child comes up to me and says, "I really liked your book," that means a lot to me. Or I like your book because this happened to me, and that to me that means more in the world. It's just I love that. I love that. That's the interactions that I really love the most. When I go to read to children and in daycares and schools. I just love the interaction. So it's not only for me, it's not just about only writing the books. It's about going out and actually, doing those events and sharing my book with others. Like one time, I dressed up like a composition notebook for Halloween, and I had a big giant pencil that was like a huge pencil that I attached to my composition notebook, and it was a Halloween kind of thing. And I thought, hey, something different. I'm an author, so let them see a composition notebook because they have composition notebooks in elementary school. So, what better way to promote writing, right?
That's awesome. I just dress up as the character in my book.
Well, and that was a character I actually read to. I think it was 3 or 4 kindergarten classes. I think I read to, and I just enjoy doing it. So that's what's important to me. And I'm an Air Force veteran. And Air Force Reserve veteran. And not only do I talk about themes in my books, but I also talk about being a veteran and what it's like to be a military veteran. And I try to include the children that are obviously they're not from military families in a lot of my books. And I said this can also happen to you. Mommy and daddy might be in the oil field, like in Oklahoma. There's a lot of oil fields, and so they might be going away for a while. So this book can relate to that. So not only is, maybe your dad's in the military and he goes away for 6 months. So it can relate to both to military and non-military children.
That's a sweet book. I love.
Did you come home for lunch? That's the name of it. Yeah. And that was, and we were talking about earlier about experiences. Did you come home for lunch came about from a dialogue of a 3-year-old child which is a true story, even though it's a fictional book, a realistic fiction. It actually happened, and my 3-year-old son actually, I was gone for 14 days, and when I came back, my 3-year-old son said, "Did you come home for lunch?" He didn't realize, even though he saw the plane go away, he didn't realize it was the innocence of a 3-year-old, had no clue, and that's how that came about. Was that story made my first book.
Mm.
And how old is he now?
He's in his 30s. He's way up in his 30s.
Is he one of the new fathers?
No. Well, he's one that has 4 children. So.
Oh gosh.
Mark just had a new grandbaby.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I have a grandbaby who was born June the 8th on my anniversary.
So tell us about
June 4th. June 4th, rather, not June 8th.
Tell us about your cuddle time.
Oh yeah, I had cuddle time yesterday with a baby, so I was excited about that. And it's been a long time since I've held a baby because but this is my 10th grandchild, and then I have an 11th one coming, a granddaughter coming in September. So.
Oh, that's great. And I know Lou has a lot of grandchildren too, and I love some of the things she does with her grandchildren are so fun. It just makes me think about my grandparents. So I love it.
Yeah.
Tell us a story. Tell us a story.
So yeah, at the moment, you want to know what we're doing at the moment. So we have what's called in Australia, we call it a mud kitchen. It's an outdoor kitchen. It can actually connect to your tap in the backyard. So they have a working tap. You guessed it. It's dirt. Dirt and water make mud. I also put sand in there. I find sand is another alternative. And I always tell the parents, do not put them in good clothes. Put them in clothes you don't care what happens. And I just think kids, I read an article the other day and it was talking about kids' nervous systems and the world's so frenetic. And somebody said, if you watch children in a mud kitchen in particular, you think they're going to be noisy and chaotic. They're so quiet. They're so regulated, so quiet. and so present because they're cooking and stirring and mixing. And I think it's very peaceful. I know that kind of sounds funny when it's chaotic and there's colors and sand, but I'm sure it's good for them. I'm absolutely certain that this kind of play is so good for everyone. It's our equivalent maybe of writing books or doing our own craft and things like that. But I think we just have a lot of fun in the mud kitchen. Anything goes. I don't care what they do. They're outside. They can get dirty. They can have a mess. We have 2 sinks in our mud kitchen. So there's a big sink like you would wash up in, and there's a little sink. And it's almost like a rite of passage now for our grandchildren that in summer we clean up the mud kitchen, of course, and then we make a bath for the babies. So sometimes the babies will actually have an outdoor bath in the mud kitchen, which don't worry, it's clean. But it's stuff like that that's different for kids and fun. And I think it gives the parents a really good break. They can often just sit and kind of watch, but I do encourage them to play as well. So I'm a big kid. Yeah, I think maybe a children's author is just big kids. Am I right here that we're all
Yes.
just getting the same vibe from all of you when I come to your meetings? But it's a simple joy in life that maybe a lot of people are missing.
Yes. When I see your pictures of your grandchildren, it makes me realize that your grandchildren are going to remember those memories, because I have such wonderful memories of my grandparents and the things. We didn't do a mud kitchen because I'm not quite in the mud kitchen, but we did, the fancy glasses and the teapot and the fancy china. My grandmother, dress up. So it was a lot of fun, but those are memories that just stay with you, I think, for forever. And even if it's not grandparents, parents doing it, like you said, doing these things with their children, are memories that will last a lifetime.
And I wonder, like through the books that are written, that action of like the books that you write, people buy them and they sit with their kids and they read them. And kids often get a favorite book and you read it dozens of times. I don't know if you've ever thought of this, but it's kind of how I see what I do as a grandma. But I think it's the same for the books you write. You're helping form a next generation of parents.
Yes.
I think what you do is legacy work. I think that time, reading a book, it's so important to children, and I think it's a real gift. Writing a book must be a gift. I can't show you, but one of my grandchildren is half Swedish, so they just moved in here temporarily, and I have a whole bag of books here which are Swedish, so obviously I can't read them, but there's still a joy. She'll still sit with me and just look at the pictures. It's that act of being together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think it's funny. I try and read them in Swedish, but I'm very bad.
You were talking about literacy and learning and legacy. What I was talking about, literacy is a big issue, big major issue, especially in our state and Oklahoma and in other states as well. But if they're learning something through it, that's important. And then finally, if you're talking about a legacy, if one child picks up a book, you're increasing literacy. You're actually leaving a legacy. You were talking about your children and grandchildren and their friends and some of the customers you meet and their children. You're building a legacy for them. Because if you're helping to increase their literacy, you're also leaving a legacy too. And it's something that you can't put down into words sometimes, but you are making that difference, and that's what's important, really. And in the scheme of things, that's what's important as an author is we're coming alongside with the school teachers and all of that. We're coming alongside with the librarians and encouraging the children to read, because we're writing those books, but we're also encouraging too as well.
One of my favorite stories about my first book, which is The Magic Library.
Mm-hmm.
The Magic Library is actually the brain before and after meditation. And one of my favorite stories is a parent came to me and said, we read your story every day at nap time, and then we take a nap together. Mm-hmm. Because it helps. In the book, Sparkle Feathers has the kids take their deep breaths and relax and get into that quiet state. And the mother uses that And she said he actually takes better naps now.
It's wonderful.
Can I ask, because you're all experienced authors, particularly with a lot of grandchildren, how do you think you've influenced them to want to write themselves? Has
Okay,
it
so
influenced your grandchildren to write?
yeah, so the book that we were just talking about, Nikolai Piccoli, was actually collaborated with a 10-year-old at the time, and so he had never been an author, and so for a 10-year-old to be not only an Oklahoma author but an international author who had worldwide distribution of the book, um, and then also we did the youth protection kind of thing too, where we didn't put his face on the picture on the back, but also helped him to learn how to write a bio about himself. And we collaborated a lot on the illustrations. I had some of the stories, and we went over them together. So I think he learned a lot through the process. And then later on, we went on a Zoom call, on an interview with an individual who interviewed us, and of course we did, for youth protection reasons, we did not use his picture. We used the audio, and so through that process, I think he actually wants to write other graphic novels and things like that. So I think that it sparked an interest in him, and I don't think he realized the impact of, not too many 10-year-olds are going around writing books these days. There are some, uh, but it opened up doors that, you've got a notoriety you don't realize you have. You're like on 28 different websites. You're on 20 or 30 different other platforms, and it's really helped out a lot for him. It's helped a lot with his creativity, actually.
Rosemary,
wonderful.
did any of are your grandchildren old enough to write? Do any of them write?
No, my granddaughters are two are in their 30s and one is in their late 20s. But I have two great
I thought
grandsons.
they
They're
were
still
little.
little. No, they were. But growing up, we used to play this game where we used to, do the story thing. Like you'd start a story, and they were really good at it. They love reading to the children. My oldest granddaughter has two little ones, and they read to them all the time. But in my activity book, I wanted an activity book that wasn't just learning. I wanted it to have some fun things in it. And I have two little stories in the back. Thank you, Francine. Two little stories in the back that have a start of a story. So it has a line. And then the children have to have their imagination to write the rest of the story in their own words. So I've gotten a couple of those back, and it's fun how to see these children write, and it's amazing the talent of these young children. I mean, um, Ken from Perfect Publishing, his son has written how many books, Francine?
14.
14 books, and he's 12, right?
13, I think.
He just turned 13. It's amazing when you see these children. There's another author, and her son has written a couple of books. So it's just, yeah, the talent out there with these young people, and they just have to be encouraged.
Okay, parents, if you're watching and you have a young writer, creative writer, my team is putting together an anthology book called People Who Believed They Could and Did. We have 10 adult authors right now writing chapters in this book. We would love to have another section of the book called Young Believers. So if your child believed they could do something and did, we would absolutely love to talk about having them join our team in writing this anthology. Betty Cushman, you are incredible. Thank you for joining us.
Say hi to her. Hi.
Hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Betty
Thanks.
is.
Betty, where are you watching us? Where are you?
She's in Florida.
She's in Florida. Another
She's my
Florida
friend.
girl.
She's
Well,
she's my dear friend, and she is a wonderful dancer, like amazing dancer. I take tap, and I'm really a bad dancer, but I love doing it. But Betty is an amazing dancer. She's danced professionally, so she's an incredible dancer. But I want to mention one thing in talking about children. On Wednesday night, Mike and I we have a little theater here, a little local community theater, and it was the show Matilda. And the girl that played Matilda was 10 years old. She was phenomenal. They had 21 children in the play. They were all amazing. I can't even describe the talent that these children have. It was just blown away. And Mike, who was at first saying, I don't know if I want to go, he just kept saying, I can't believe these children were so amazing. And he's just been promoting it, telling everybody about the show. So it's incredible. But when we teach our children, like all of us have said, teach them things on reading, writing, the arts, sports. They're just incredible. So.
Well, we have almost filled our 30 minutes of our live at 5. So to end this, first off, how can you find the books that we've talked about? We've talked about Nikolai Piccoli. We talked about Bab's activity book. We've talked about the Magic Library. There is a website. You could scan that QR code up in the top, left corner, right corner. It depends on how it's viewed on your screen. Or you could go to children'sauthorsunite.com, and you could find our books. You could find a little bit more about us, and you could also download your free activity book. Each author in Children's Authors Unite has done a coloring page or an activity page, and we've all combined them together and made one beautiful PDF that you could have some fun activities for the kids for a rainy day, or lose down in Australia on a cold winter day.
And you can adopt a Sparkle Feathers.
You can adopt a Sparkle Feathers. Yes, you can. Sparkle Feathers is up for adoption. And we also want to invite you, if you are an author, if you think you want to be an author, please join us Fridays, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Just send me your email address and I will send you the Zoom invite. And you can find a contact me right on children'sauthorsunite.com. And that is 5:30. That is our first episode of Live at 5.
Yay.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Have a
everybody.
great weekend. Mark, have fun at the Pickle Festival.
Yes.
Thank you so
Pickle
much.
Festival.
I'm excited.
I hope you get to come back next week and tell us all about it.
All right. Sounds good.
I'm going
Okay.
to be jealous. I love pickles. Bye.